Dennis Horton, he is the director of the Rockford Regional Office of the Better Business Bureau, always here to help you out, save you some money, avoid some hassles and all that goes with it. Dennis, good morning.
Good morning, Riley. How are you?
I'm terrific. How's everything going this morning?
Really good.
Skies are bright, it's sunny, it's warm, and the scammers are out working and doing their thing.
Yes, they are, unfortunately, and I appreciate the ability to tell you a little bit about some things that we're concerned about here at the BBB.
Well, you save us, like I said, a lot of time, a lot of trouble, in some cases a big pile of money, just by paying attention to some of the things that Dennis will alert us to, and charitable giving scams, one of them.
It's like clockwork, Riley. Every time there is a natural disaster, and in this case, the Hurricane Florence and the flooding aftermath has created a situation for scammers to begin to try to take advantage of individuals, of people. One of the great things about human nature is that we want to help, and scammers know this, and they are out in droves trying to rip people off. In fact, just before we went on here, I was checking to see what are the latest things that we should be concerned about, and one of them that I saw come up was from the U.S. United States Computer Emergency Readiness Team, and they are warning people about malicious cyber activity, where emails and pop-ups on social media sites are proliferating across the country, and people are falling for them.
Oh man!
In a desire to help, and as we know, if the money doesn't get to where it's supposed to be, there is no help.
Because, and I was thinking about this, and it doesn't matter, but put hurricane blank, just, whatever it is, there's always, somebody who wakes up in the morning and thinks, God, people are suffering, people are really having a rough time. Let's see if I can't bilk them out of some dough.
They come out from whatever rock they live under.
Right.
It makes you laugh a little bit, but it's really it's maddening in about it, because the impact that it has is so damaging for the people who really need it, and for the charities who are out there trying to do the best they can to help people who are in this unfortunate situation.
Yeah, so, watch yourself. And like you said, we know Americans are charitable people, or giving people. They find out that there's a part of the country that's in need. You got people stacked up wanting to help, and you got to make sure you get into the right line.
And there are methods by which people feel they can trust in giving, but we have to be careful no matter what method we choose. Crowdfunding today is an easy method to raise money, but it is also, unfortunately, one of the areas where scammers do take advantage of people quickly, mostly because very little vetting of individuals who decide to post for assistance after a disaster aren't vetted by the crowdfunding operations. And so you really don't know, and it's difficult to know or to verify the trustworthiness of the crowdfunding request for support. So before you would give to an individual who posts a crowdfunding effort, you really need to consider, is this the best method that I should use to donate to help, or should you go to a trusted, reliable source, to a charity that you believe in, that you know to be legitimate? One of the things that is different about that we here at the BBB have is a charitable giving arm, Wise Giving Alliance, and we have the National Charitable Report Index. So and you do it the same way that you would do it to look up a business. You simply go in and type in the name of the charity you'd like to donate to, and their report should come up. We have reports on thousands of charities nationwide, local, state, and national.
I'm looking at some of the ones that people are going after. Among one of the earliest ones to pop up, Hurricane Florence Relief Fund -.com. Registered anonymously on GoDaddy. Donations sent through the site's PayPal page go to an email address tied to the PayPal account, but no response from anybody who tends to that account.
These are the things that we have to worry about. And that's a perfect example. We have no idea who these people are. And undoubtedly, they're going to collect money. And I'm not saying that they're not legitimate because I haven't looked into them. However, there are thousands or hundreds of other sites just like that we have to be concerned about.
It's amazing. They talk about this one. It accepts PayPal donations. They invoke the name of the Red Cross, but they don't tie it to anything, and there's no link off the Red Cross. And they claim 80% of their donations go directly to first responders in North and South Carolina, although it gives absolutely no path for showing how that happens.
We've had reports of scammers who simply say that they are the Red Cross, and using now what has become the tiresome IRS link, we've had reports from people who say that they have gotten calls from people purporting to be from the IRS working with charitable donations for Hurricane Florence victims. It's amazing. They're brilliant at coming up with these ideas, but it makes us have to think about it all the more.
It does, and it seems like every time you kind of get an idea of how the pattern's going, they shift the pattern ever so slightly or find a way to make themselves look more legitimate, so just a cursory glance, you're already clicking and sending money to them.
And you hit the key. They make themselves look more legitimate. And if you don't pay close attention, then you find yourself in trouble.
So you can go to your website and you can look at names of places that would be a good place to send some relief fund.
Absolutely. And it is, there are two paths to get there, but the easiest is simply to go to BBB.org. There's also the Wise Giving Alliance, but BBB.org is easier to remember.
Yeah, get over there and have a look. And another one that I've steered people to time and time again is charitynavigator.org.
That's a good one as well.
They do a really nice job, and they break it down. You give a dollar, how much of that goes to where you want it to go, how much goes to administrative, and they get to a point where they rate them on a star scale. So you can feel comfortable there. But yeah, go with the BBB first. Get over to Charity Navigator afterwards. But yeah, just be very, very careful because it's like walking through a minefield, and you're just trying to do some good.
And another red flag, and you just sort of mentioned a charity that says, or a company or a person that is trying to raise money that says that all of the money, 100% of the donations will go to this charity, is a red flag. 100% of the money cannot go to that charity. There are costs involved in raising the money. There are calls that there is a infrastructure, if you will, that is required to just get the money to the people. So every dime of it cannot and would not be going directly to the victims or to a charity.
That's a great point. I'm glad you made that one because, when you look at that, go, wow, 100%, now they're the guys for me. That's where I want to go. I don't want, 20% going and then, the 80% going to administrative. They say 100. You can't do it that way.
It can't be done.
Okay, yeah, guys, keep that in mind when you look over sites that purport to give 100%. They can't do it. The other thing to note that you'd left in the email, buyer's remorse for door-to-door purchases.
It came to mind just this Friday. Our office opens at 8:30, and between 8:30 and 11 a.m., we had 5 different people who called us about door-to-door utility people going door-to-door to sell them or change their utility provider. And what brought it to mind was that 3 of the 5 people had decided to go ahead and sign up for it without doing any checking whatsoever, and then discovered later that the rate they'd be paying through ComEd or through the city program was far less than what they signed up for. The problem here is that you've signed a contract, and you are now past the 3-day right of rescission or the 3-day right to cancel. And when you try to do that, you are now on the hook for the the contract for that 2 and sometimes 2 to 5 year period, and they're going to try to force you to pay up. And in many cases, the early out clause is about $500.
Oh.
And if you choose to try to file a complaint or what have you, and we do have people who file a complaint hoping that we can help them get out of this contract. There are 2 things here: is that if it's a legitimate contract, there's nothing we can do. But secondly, the vendor can claim simply buyer's remorse. You signed up because it's something you thought you wanted, but now you've changed your mind. Unfortunately, you signed your contract, and we're going to hold you to it.
So it's not actually a scam per se. It's a much higher rate that you don't realize, so they can get away with the legitimacy of the contract because it's not they're not trying to scam you and give you nothing.
That's right. It is, isn't it? You're right. It's not a scam per se. It is that we haven't done our homework before we decide to sign up with this new vendor.
Okay. That does make it tricky, and I imagine that you've had some faces fall when you've looked at them and gone, I'm sorry, but you signed a legitimate contract here.
That's right, and they will hold you to it. And if you sign the contract and no one gives you, there's a form, a 3-page form, white, pink, and yellow form, that is your right to cancel within 3 days. So you have 72 hours to do that, and they stick to that 72 hours. If you miss it by an hour, they'll claim, too late, you're too late. Too bad you're too late.
Oh, man. So, and these are people who are going door to door, knocking on the door saying, hey, you want a better rate, you want to lower your rate, you want to spend less on your utilities.
That's true. And Riley, the 3-day right of rescission and whether or not you can change your mind applies to any door-to-door sales. If they no longer do it, but if you're going door-to-door selling encyclopedias or magazines, if you change your mind within that 3-day period, within that 3-day period, you can cancel. But if you're outside of that window, you unfortunately are the loser.
Oh, man. Well, you don't even have to step very far outside your door to step into a snare trap, do you?
You don't. Unfortunately, the best practice to me is that if someone knocks on your door that you haven't invited to come to your door, don't open it.
Exactly. Or like we have at home, there's a sign on our door that says, absolutely no soliciting except for kids. And it has worked marvelously. The scouts and the other kids come up, and we're happy to buy the candy, the wrapping, and the other things, and adults know that we take a dim view of anybody who's not a kid showing up at the front door.
I think that's a really great warning. I think I, too, will put up that sign.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, the kids appreciate it, moms and dads appreciate it, and I don't care what the other people feel about it. So, it works out very nicely. For people who want to keep themselves updated on some of the things you've talked to us about, where should they go?
They can give us a call here at the BBB at 815-963-2222 or go to our website, bbb.org.
Outstanding. Dennis, we'll look forward to talking to you for more of this stuff in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, Riley. You have a good day.